heroes of humility, 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 humility. This is not a charade. This is real. These words you are about to hear are coming from real humans on a mission to save the human race from itself. Buckle up while these delusional heroes of humility, aka HoH, attempt to right the wrongs in everyday human behavior. Holiday edition. Well, welcome back to Heroes of Humility, you guys. And you drove over here again to our studio. Right now, man, we have the illest rides. And in front of the studio, am I cool enough to say the word ill? Because your rides, what's your new ride? 11, tell us your new ride, bro. And don't go on and on. We just want to get the cliff notes of what your ride is. It's an awesome ride.
It's a two-door Bronco, a new one. It's all
so sweet.
Decked out with some Baja suspensions. It is sweet.
What'd you get, Beige? You just got a new ride.
I did. I got a Subaru WRX.
Damn, and you said it with a lot of humility.
Yeah. Burnt orange.
Burnt orange. So
yeah, that's badass.
It's sweet. It's
a
nice.
See my taillights.
Unusual orange. Yeah, it's unusual.
I'm a flamboyant kind of guy. You know I couldn't do the silver, or the taupe. Or the beige, I guess. Which
now,
is
if you have a classic car, I think silver is okay. I have.
Oh, damn! That was a diss. I didn't even realize.
Well,
Sorry.
I tried to overlook it, but
beige,
I feel like since we're going to
what does Pierce have? What's his car?
Okay,
it goes eastbound and down.
That's low-hanging fruit. It's a 1979 10th anniversary Trans Am. They don't make them anymore. And it's hard to find. And this one is a 10th anniversary. Pontiac put all the amenities they had in 1979 into this. It was the last year, really, of the muscle car.
Speaking of low-hanging fruit, do we want to mention Cameron's shorts?
Or I've noticed shorts. Beige is really fixated on our shorts these days, but they are short.
Yeah. I was thinking about it. Good. I'm the one with the short shorts on.
You are.
They're my Christmas booty shorts.
You're the one with the low-hanging fruit.
Yes. Yeah. I almost didn't wear underwear. Otherwise, there would be some low-hanging fruit. 11
brought his fruit basket today for very...
Well, this is a holiday edition, so this is going to come out right before Christmas. In the holidays, I thought, well, we'll do a holiday episode and we'll talk about holiday stuff. And I have a relative that I haven't mentioned before, and for privacy reasons, he happens to host a radio show. And I was listening to him because he's on the tail end of his career. He does this really for fun, but this is this happens to be his last week. And I heard him talking a little bit about the holidays, and he cares so much about the listening audience. He's got kind of an intimate relationship with the people that listen to this, and it's a smaller community. But he was describing the reason for the season, and we get caught up in other things. And I thought, man, that's a good one. I don't want to copy his thoughts, but he said something today that just really tugged at the heartstrings. And it was this. We're going to laugh about a lot of stuff, and I don't want to get too serious, but we get so busy during the holidays trying to make everything perfect and trying to do all of these things that we think is going to make it better for the big day. And we forget about all the stuff in between. We're wondering, did I do good enough? Did I get this person the right gift? Did I forget this person's gift? And he said something, and it just made me think. He was like, whatever you've done this year, whatever you're doing to prepare for the holidays, you did good enough. You did what you were supposed to do. You did your best. That's pretty cool, man. So that was just a thought I had, that wherever you are, whatever holiday it is that you're celebrating, know that you've done right. I know this is sometimes a hard time of year for people. Try to enjoy the moments that you should, and don't hurry through things so that you're just forgetting what this is about. It's supposed to be about, I guess, being thankful and appreciating the time we have, and love, man. Have you noticed how nice people are during the holidays? Why can't it be like that all the time? I went into a grocery store, and the Salvation Army person was ringing their bell. I put something in there, humble brag. I don't mean to
Was it money or?
Yeah, I put some money in there. Okay, I didn't want to say money because now, thanks, Beige. Now I sound like a jerk.
Well,
but yeah, I put money. I could have been an apple or whatever. But yeah, I put money in there, and she's like, thank you. And then she had lost the zeal. She had lost the magic. I thought, man, it's so cool that she's a trooper. She's been out here. But it would have been, I don't know, I wanted a little bit more pomp and circumstances. I thought maybe there'd be a little more excitement. And I felt, what a jerk I am. Like I was expecting her to be like, thank you so much, have a nice, and I realized I'm the jerk. She's been out there probably hours, and here I didn't get my exciting whatever. And I thought, well, so I took away from what I thought I was doing good. And now I'm going to go ahead and leave the stage open for the other hoes to, decimate me at this point. Cause what I did was,
it was not very humble.
Yeah, I was looking for something.
You wanted like a spotlight shown on you saying, this guy just donated to the, look at him, basically. Is
look
what
at
you
me.
I'm better than you.
Yeah, I'm better than everybody going in and out of the store, ignoring you, and not making eye contact.
And then
with
you'd see other people come out and, well, how much did you give? Oh, yeah, well, I gave, you gave $1, well, I gave $2.
Right. Maybe there could be like a little digital screen that a readout that shows what I put in, so everybody.
So you want a scoreboard?
Yeah, maybe like a scoreboard.
Because that's the spirit of Christmas.
Yeah, that is the spirit of giving.
Yeah, and I think that it would be a motivator. It'd be a motivator. Oh, who's going to get the best score? Anyway, I felt bad. And I realized this is an ugly part of myself. And then I had to eat extra peas that day because I thought maybe and drink more water. I thought maybe this will wash away the evil, in my heart.
Right. Maybe you'll pee out the evil with enough water.
It's been a rough year. Trying to do better, trying to be
better,
circumspect, Is that the right word? Circumspect.
Well, and then that bleeds into this time of year is also the time of year for New Year's resolution. So maybe that can be your New Year's resolution. Buddy.
But it's too general to just say be a better human. I need something more specific.
Be less evil.
Less evil. You know what? It's easy to be less evil. You just think less evilly thoughts.
Baby steps, not look for praise and adulation for giving money into the red.
And the good news,
just
about
baby steps, man.
A New Year's resolution is you still have a couple of weeks to be as evil as you want.
Oh, good. I can. Yeah.
That's what people do, right? They make it. They're like, in 3 weeks, I'm going to lose all this weight. In the meantime, I'm going to gorge myself.
I'm going to quit smoking for New Year's resolution. I'm going to down 2 packs a day.
The people that really are real giving and that do a lot, I always think, has that person murdered somebody? Like, what have they done that they're trying to
atone for?
Yeah, they're trying to. They're like way too. I'm like, wow, that guy's being way too.
See, that's cynical. That's cynical.
Look at there, right? I go again, dude. I can't help it.
Jeez, man, come on,
man. I need to take a hard look at the man in the mirror, dude, and say, what are you doing in this life, dude? And I just rounded the corner. I really feel like I'm kind of going into the second half of the life that I'm supposed to live, my best one. Yeah, dude, I want to do well. I don't want it to just be about, having, a 1979 Trans Am and still trying to run as fast as I can and hurting your bros' feelings because they're looking at you thinking, I wish I could run as good as Pierce. Right. And these are not the things I want.
I wish I had a body made out of granite like Pierce.
Yeah, well, that's yours. But I'm just saying, for me, I want to try to think more, be more, a little bit more circumspect. I don't know. Does that make sense? I mean,
I'm not sure I know what that word means, but yeah, sounds good.
Something about thinking more about yourself, being more aware of yourself, the me, myself, and I thing, and separating them and making sure you understand how you might look at yourself in different ways, the way you behave in front of others, the way you are by yourself, the way you are with your mom, with your dad.
You talking crap about his mom?
Yeah, I didn't mean to do that.
Is that in the Christmas spirit?
Well, I guess I kind of hurt.
Wow, man. Maybe we should just end the show.
I can't help it, dude. I'm just on an evil warpath. I have, like you said, 2 more weeks just to let the Sith Lord come out of me and just decimate everybody with the... Yeah, with the...
So, look, see?
Dude, this... Oh,
look at your helmets.
I know.
The centerpiece... is Darth Vader.
I had the weirdest...
That's your muse right now, I think.
That tells me a little something.
Wow. The dark side is...
I'm going to work up a profile on you.
Deep within. You know what? I had a dream. Oh my gosh. You just reminded me of something. I had a dream it's going to sound weird, and probably I shouldn't be telling this, but I've got to be honest, and there's no place to do it better than Heroes of Humility. I had a dream that I was trying to protect Beauty. She's always unaware of the dangers around her, whether it's somebody in line behind us in the Costco about to hit her with a cart.
She is not situationally aware.
Situationally aware. Her sit rep is all over. Like, if she was she leaves things in her car, and I'm like, she's being a temptress, and not in a way like you guys are going to laugh about. I mean, in a way where she leaves something that somebody's going to look in and be like, oh, I want to steal that. That looks valuable to me. And I'm like, Beauty, don't leave that. So I move things. I see them in her car. So I had a dream that we were like at this library, but all of a sudden the library was kind of like the Death Star. And I was trying to kind of hurry us through. I was trying to hurry us through here. And out of the right peripheral, I saw this figure with a long black cape on. And dude, I didn't want to stare at him, but I could tell I knew it was Darth Vader.
I was going to say Dracula.
No, it's that we talked about that earlier before we started the show. Don't derail the story.
Not a big Star Wars fan.
Don't mess up that. No, that was funny. But look, no, this was Darth Vader. I'm in the Death Star. Okay, you ruined it. So, just kidding, buddy. So, sorry. See, dude, I got to get that out of my system. I apologize. I'm going to be better on January 1st. I'm sorry, this is long. So we're walking through this library, Death Star, and I'm trying to make sure that Beauty gets in and out of the library, and she's not. She keeps walking right next to Darth Vader, and he's trying to identify us. And I didn't feel like when I was a kid, and I thought, oh, that would be so cool to see Darth Vader. I felt like a feeling of doom. This is not good, right? So I told Beauty, I said, let's get going. And this thing where we've had to do this in our work, I'm not going to talk about too much, but when you have to go to a restaurant that you didn't buy food at and use the restroom, and you do it quickly with a purpose, you don't make eye contact, but you walk in there like you have, like you belong there. She doesn't do that. She thinks that that's unsat, that you shouldn't. These are the kind of things why it's hard to kind of look after her. She doesn't realize, she doesn't see the people out of her peripheral. She doesn't see the things that she lives on the front seat. She doesn't see people around. So I'm like, in my dream, this was the issue. And I was like trying to look after her, and Darth Vader kept trying. And so he came up right next to me, and he wanted me to look at him because I felt like once I made eye contact, he'd be like, oh, I got you. So I didn't make eye contact. And I walked and I got her out of the library. We went downstairs. I'm going to have to cut this whole story. And we see down in this like forested area before you get to the freeway, there's this guy holding, looks like a saber-toothed tiger, but it was more of a leopard. It was like a blend of these different tigers, and it had these giant teeth. Yeah, a question?
This story is actually as long as the entire Star Wars series. This is basically the length of this dream is the entire...
I'm trying to give you a real... I apologize, man, like this. I don't even know what the point of this is, but when you said... Because you pointed to the helmet in here. I got a Darth Vader helmet. It made me think of this. So at the end of this dream, is basically that the tiger got away from the person who was holding it on some kind of a leash, and it came right up to me, and it growled, and I said, this is it, dude. First of all, we just get out of the library that looks like Death Star. We avoid Darth Vader. Now I'm sitting here looking at this animal that's going to eat me, and I moved, and I got her to walk around and leave. I realized I'm dead. And she was fine. I got her along her path out of the forest, and this thing went to pounce, and it went like that. And then so I tried to growl bigger. I brought a bigger growl, and I got intimidating on this thing, and it stopped. And so then I just started off running through the forest, and then I woke up right as I got to the freeway. I think this was in California. I mean, I don't know. Does that mean anything? I was going to say, since I've been looking at myself more, what would you guys interpret about this dream?
What I interpret is that Pierce says library like library. That's what I got from this story.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a pet peeve of mine.
Not the depth of analysis I was hoping for, but
no.
Okay.
It was.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So everybody has those dreams of pending doom.
Yeah, that's how
and it's all about what is in your life, really.
Ooh,
and you being in this room.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Did you fall asleep in this room when you had that dream? That might have been part of the problem.
You use pieces of your life to fill in those gaps of the pending doom thing.
You know, sometimes when I look around,
the tiger is something you are not in control of in your life.
With the dream, a lot of times you can't save. Like that, so that was a lot of PTSD stuff that I went through. There's inability to save, the slow motion and all that stuff, and that's when I would wake up.
Yeah.
But the fact that you were actually able to be successful in that,
I was able to get her to safety.
Yeah.
I just couldn't get myself to safety, and what I had to do is just realize this is it. But I didn't stop. I didn't stop. Like, I tried to scare this thing. I've had those dreams where, like, you go to do something and you can't quite pull the trigger. It won't pull.
Were you frustrated with Beauty earlier that day for leaving something on the seat, or did something happen that recently within the few days before that you'd been thinking about?
Involving a cat?
You know, sometimes I worry that she's not aware enough. Sometimes we're probably more aware of the things, the dangers out there, and those are things. But
you have to accept that. Like, yeah. I know, like, you want to be in control and say, well, you need to be aware, but she doesn't think like you think.
Right.
And you have to accept the fact that she doesn't think like you think, and stop trying to get her to think like you think.
Thinking like that is a part of who we are, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't want to live that way. It's kind of exhausting.
Yeah, it's mentally exhausting. So yeah.
Let her do that.
Yeah.
You just keep an eye out for her.
Exactly.
You know, they've even studied people that have come back after having their deployments, and you could probably speak to this more, Levin. You want to be able to do more than you realistically can, and you don't have control. Like, you just don't have that control. So sometimes maybe the stuff in here it's a little escapism. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted a Darth Vader helmet, but I couldn't. Of course, I wasn't going to be able to get one. But now I do, and it's like it just kind of allows you to. It's a distraction.
Well, I think a lot of these dreams are your subconscious coming to grips with things in your conscious life that you can't control.
Yeah.
And that's what that sounds like to me. Is there's things in your life that you can't control, and you'd like to control them, and that's your dream. Is your fear realized of being out of control of a situation?
No control. Whew, wow.
Deep, right?
Yeah, it hurts.
Merry Christmas, gents.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'd like to say my piece about the holidays, and I know Pierce. We got a little serious right off the bat there, and we're pretty much done with this episode. I think that went on about an hour there.
Yeah. I'm gonna stop talking the rest of the show right now.
Yeah, your allotted time is up, Pierce. Sorry. No, I just want people to realize, like, everybody gets in the holiday spirit, and you get that special feeling around the holidays. I think we all kind of have that. Maybe as you get older, you get a little less of that, as opposed to when you were a kid.
Yeah.
But I think it's also important to realize that this is a very difficult time for a lot of people that are going through potentially like a substantial change in their life. Maybe they've lost somebody in the past year. Maybe they're going financial hardships, familial hardships that are creating a different circumstance at Christmas. And this is just kind of a realization of that new reality that they have to face, kind of smacks them in the face. And so I think we need to be patient with each other around this time of year. And if somebody is not in the Christmas spirit, there could be reasons for that. They could be dealing with something that they have in their personal life. So just give everybody grace is what I'm saying.
Yeah, don't judge anyone.
Right.
You just treat them better.
Yeah.
I went through something like that after my divorce years ago, and I was broke, like bad, and just moved in a new place. Like, everything kind of happened right before Christmas, and then I have my boys here and they're staying with me for a couple weeks and over Christmas and all that. And I was like, man, what am I going to do?
And it's just a reminder of what it should be, but it's not, right? Yeah.
And I sat down, and the way I raised them, I kind of talked to them like they're adults. I always told them, I'm training you to be an adult. Like, that's my job. I'm not here to rule over you like I'm your king or whatever. And so they always kind of gave that same mutual respect back. And 1 year I had this little like 3-foot tree I got for $20 somewhere. And I think they had like one present each. And they were like, we don't have to get us anything. I'm fine. They're
Right.
like, we'll just hang out together and watch movies all day.
Right.
And it was like, that was like the heartwarming to me. It was great.
Well, and that's what you realize as an adult becomes less and less about the presents. Because, I mean, especially, I mean, we're all fortunate enough, generally speaking, to be in a position for the most part that if we really want something, we can probably go out and get that for ourselves within, certain limitations. So it's not about the gift necessarily. It's about the connection and the time with each other around the holidays more. And especially if you have kids, I have kids, you have kids. And so it's seeing their happiness,
seeing them
that
light
is
up,
so much more important than
yeah.
oh, I got this gift. It's like I really couldn't care less if I got a gift this year or not, be honest with you.
When I was a kid, the biggest, most exciting thing, full disclosure, was, gosh, yeah, I'm gonna get this gift and it's gonna be amazing. I remember one Christmas, like vividly, I couldn't walk into the living room. And I wasn't always like that after my parents' divorce, but at that time it was. Actually, that Imperial shuttle up there was one of those I got in during that Christmas. But I remember it was my dad. It was having both of my parents together and just having a good time with them. And just these moments is what I remember. Now I feel the same way like you just described. I can't wait to see the reaction on other people's faces when they see what I heard them say during the year that I remembered, and now I got them this thing that they completely, hopefully, forgot about. I got something that was handmade from somebody in the Ukraine, and I know Beauty's going to have a blast just knowing that was made, and that maybe we helped somebody too, but it's this beautiful, thing that we could never get anywhere else. So kind of excited to see her reaction. One year I got her these portraits. They're up here in the other room, but they're like a night, in a different time. And so they have a setting of the castle and everything in the background. And she opened, it's giant, and she opened it and she combined two words like what and why. What, and dang, she doesn't really like it, but it's still that excitement of knowing that you've thought about somebody and you've really tried to nail it out of the park. That's fun, and I like that. But that also puts a little bit of stress.
So you're saying you're not big into giving gift cards then?
Yeah, I don't. Depending on who it is, yeah, I couldn't do that for Beauty. Do you have any gift cards that you're giving this year?
No, that's generally what I give out now. I guess other than my kids, but like other people, like other adults, if I'm going to give them a gift, usually I get them a gift card to a store that they want because they're the ones that are going to decide exactly what they want.
My family, my dad's one of 10 kids. They're all from Scotland. And so I had 32 cousins that I grew up with out in LA, and everyone would get together Boxing Day, day after Christmas. And there's so many kids around that they didn't buy presents for everyone. They just had envelopes with money in it and had your name on it. So they just walk around all the kids. There you go. There you go. There you go. But it was like an accepted thing. Like nobody expected that, it was just.
Yeah, with a big family, man, that's a heavy lift to do Christmas shopping. That would be crazy.
Yeah, that was too much, man.
32 gifts. I can
I'm sitting there. There's a little, I got $5.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with that? Find something.
The first time I got some money as a kid, I went out and bought a yo-yo. Just the idea that I could buy whatever I wanted, I felt rich. Like I had all this freedom to just do whatever. Like all of a sudden I had these powers. It was ridiculous. Yeah, so I guess it's not too bad to be able to get whatever you want. So, yeah, don't feel bad, Beige. I think it's not as good as the Ukraine. I didn't mean to even say
well,
that.
I mean, I didn't feel bad until you said that, but now I feel a little bad. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Well, I got 2 more weeks, like I said.
Well,
I don't feel bad for buying stuff or giving a gift card or some money to other families.
Oh, yeah.
My own kids get presents.
Right.
Like, I'm not buying presents for everybody else's kids. Like,
exactly.
Go get whatever you want. Like, I got too much going on to worry to try to figure out what you want and all.
And especially people that live out of state and stuff, and then you got to deal with mailing packages and all that stuff. It's like, here's some digital gift cards that I'll send to your email.
Get whatever you want.
Like, get whatever you want, man.
And then there's those people just on the outskirts of your immediate family or friends, and that sometimes can get kind of awkward. Like I said, when I was listening to sage wisdom of my family member who's leaving broadcast, And I thought I really was appreciating him because I thought he's not going to be here forever. I started thinking about that a little bit, and I really just listened to him for a moment. And it was like I was listening to my dad again. He just said, yeah, look, you've done good enough. You did good. And I really felt like he was just talking to me. And even though there was a ton of people listening, and I was like, that's cool, man. Yeah, I think I did good this year. But the idea that have you done your best? I don't know. That's kind of a hard thing.
Well, 11, do you want to contribute any of the to the seriousness before we get into more levity here, hopefully?
No.
No. Okay,
right,
sweet.
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was going to say, we've all kind of splurged, I would say, within the last year. Certainly you guys did sooner. And I wonder if that's a way of dealing with something that's a challenge.
We were just talking about this. Like I was saying to Beige, I said, you work really hard. When's the last time you bought something for yourself? You shouldn't have to be driving some 20-year-old car and get a good car and kind of like buy yourself something. Feel good about it. You deserve that.
Well, and it's just with my old car, it was like constantly giving me problems. The transmission just seemed to go out last week,
and I'm like, it's a peace of mind thing. It's driving in some sort of style. Like it's a car that you've really wanted your whole life. And
if anybody's had kind of and I wouldn't say my old car is a junker. It's kind of a niche car that I would envision in the next 10 years could be like a cult classic type car that is very segmented towards a group of people. But it is a car that's going on 20 years old right now. And so it obviously has its problems. And if anybody out there is driving kind of a clunker right now or something, you're leaking oil, you're leaving big stains in the driveway or in the street, I was constantly checking oil, wherever I went because I was leaking oil, make sure it just becomes a hassle, and we deal with so much stress in our lives and everything. That's just one more thing that it's just like, I don't want to deal with this too, So
now we were talking about, you can make that into a fun car or.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the nice thing is like, so, that kind of goes back to what I was saying about before with Christmas. It's like, dude, there's nothing that I expect anybody to get me because honestly, like the smaller stuff, if I really want it, I'll just go buy it myself throughout the year. I think a lot of people are that way as they become adults. And like the things that you really want, it's like, I want a new boat or I want an RV. Yeah, nobody's getting you that for Christmas, dude. No. So the meaning of Christmas kind of takes on a different meaning as you become an adult. But one thing I was thinking about doing this year that I haven't done in a long time is I wanted to take my daughter to church because we all get so caught up in like Santa Claus and all this kind of stuff when we start losing that other aspect of Christmas as well, And so one of my daughters has actually shown interest in that, so I want to be able to cultivate that and take her to church this year for sure. So
my dad wrote in a book he gave me once. I still have it, and I've lost my father years ago, but was the idea that he said, enjoy the simpler things. He always did something funny where he'd always sign his name, even though I knew, it was my dad. And that's kind of my thing now. I sign everything, and it's funny to me, but my dad has some dry sense of humor, and I appreciate it. But if you can kind of live by that, and you do find enjoyment in the simpler things, I think you're going to find joy a lot easier in life. And even sometimes the more stuff you have, the more of a hassle you're going to have.
Mo money, mo problems.
Yeah. I mean, I
make more, spend more.
Yeah. I did some work on my Trans Am today, and it's a work of art, but it does require, TLC and some stuff. I mean, it's a 40-plus-year-old vehicle. It's been modernized, but there's little things, I reprogrammed the computer that now maintains, the proper air to fuel ratio and all these things. So, and I realized I had the transmission dialed in a little bit off on the gear ratios in the back, but should make for some pretty interesting listening for the HoH listeners. But anyway, I realized, well, gosh, that was an hour or so today I spent on a material thing. I enjoy it, but it also requires some investment of time.
Gotcha.
So. And I'll say a few other.
I'm going to switch it up because this has gotten real serious, and this is supposed to be a fun show here. Yeah. What is the worst gift you guys have ever gotten?
Man,
hopefully we're not going to offend anybody. Think carefully here.
I can remember one of the best gifts.
Okay.
I can remember one of the best gifts.
I've got a worse one.
Oh, okay. Let's hear it. Oh, man.
Pink dildo.
This wasn't for Christmas though.
Oh, okay.
No pink dildo.
Yeah. Who would give you that?
This was, and I'm not trying to talk it. I'm just gonna say it. My ex-wife was doing like a burlesque photo shoot thing to make me like a calendar.
Interesting.
So she went and did this photo shoot. I still paid for all the corsets and everything and all that crap. But whatever. She was a model and did all this stuff. And so she went and got all these photos done. The day before she didn't give it to me, posted every picture on Facebook. And so I'm sitting there looking at them and everyone's like all loving it and everything. Then she gives me the thing. I'm like, well, that wasn't really a gift for me, was it?
It was a gift to the Facebook community, I guess.
Yeah. It was like a gift for everyone. It was a gift for you.
Right.
Like you got yourself a gift.
Wow.
It was great.
Wow.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It was so messed up.
We said we were going to turn things around, but I'm still bummed. The story bummed me out.
No, it's funny now.
It is funny, I guess. Yeah, it's kind of interesting, funny, and fascinating. And
I never got gifts.
I know with one of my ex-girlfriends, her parents, I think got me a gift, which was weird. Just like stocking, like small stuff, like stocking stuffer type stuff or little things. One of the things they got me was deodorant. And I was like, what the fuck
What
are you trying to say
dude?
something? I was like,
slap
what
in the
the
face.
That was bad.
Do you think that's why they did it?
I don't know.
Or do
I
you
was
think
like,
they just bought like a bulk pack?
I'm
We're like,
I
just
don't-
throw one of those
I
in there.
don't
We'll add an
stink,
extra
dude.
thing.
I don't stink.
Was
I wear deodorant. I wear cologne. Like, what the hell?
was it wrapped?
Yeah, I mean, it was brand new. There was no hairs on it or anything like that.
It had to
Yeah.
be like
Did
a...
It had to be like a humble light or like a subtle.
The dad maybe bought like a 3-pack or something. Like, here, you
Yeah,
get one of those.
I hope it
But
wasn't like a
stocking
message they
stuffers,
were
that's
trying
you
to
put
convey.
stuff like that in stocking stuff.
I know, but I was like, what
But
the
it was
hell,
just by
dude?
itself? Wasn't on a stocking.
I'm trying to.
Wasn't
This
with
is a
other
long.
stuffers.
This was a long time ago, it was.
Is it in keeping with them? Like, what were they like? I mean, did it seem like something they would give people, or
I don't know.
seriously, or what do you? If
I
it's
mean,
not
they were kind of
Was it in a stocking?
standoffish a
little
little
odd?
bit. Yeah, a little odd.
Was it in a stocking?
I don't think so.
Yeah, they sound a little off, dude.
Yeah.
If they individually
like-
wrapped a thing of deodorant,
Yeah, that's bad.
balls
right?
on
that's
them,
bad.
dude.
I know.
Well, it's
I
also
know.
that is
interesting.
wild.
That is wild.
It's also
right?
interesting that it didn't occur to them that you might have this unfortunate conclusion that they're saying you're inefficient in cleaning
And now
yourself.
it's like,
You know what
was
would've
that the message that they were trying to convey, though, in a subtle and a not so subtle way, I guess.
What would have been perfect is if you just would have thrown it on the ground and said, I don't use deodorant.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a tough one, dude. That's kind of
No better comeback, dude.
Your daughter loves the way I sing.
Yeah.
that would.
She
be,
likes all natural. The man musk.
you could have handed it back, looked at Dad right in his eye, and say, "Yeah, your daughter likes my musk."
Yeah. That's like me giving Dad like a box
Toothbrush?
of condoms and been like, hey, dude, you got 6 kids. Like, how about you wrap it up, buddy?
Calm down, dude.
Maybe
Yeah,
not-
calm down there, buddy.
Not quite as bad, but that's pretty good. Yeah,
Here's
maybe
your
like
gift
some toothpaste.
certificate for
Yeah, here's some
vasectomy.
toothpaste
Here's
or
some
yeah,
toothpaste,
some
buddy.
soap, some
Yeah.
body wash
there you
here.
go, some soap. Wow, that's
Yeah,
that's
that
a
was
interesting
pretty
one.
crazy. All right, you're up there, Pierce.
One
Since-
year, you know what? I have 2 that I realized, but the first one I thought it was a birthday gift. My dad got me the Atari, and I was the first one on my block to have it. And I remember opening that. I was like, wow. And we would play that for hours, man. Me and my dad, Pac-Man. But the second thing I really remember isn't just one gift, but they all blend together. And it was always him playing with these gifts with me, like putting the ships together, putting the decals on these Star Wars ships and all that stuff. And like I said, I've got one back there still. And that was kind of cool. I think it was combined because he was spending the time with me going over them. But I also one year I got a bike. It was my first 2-wheel bike. And
Streamers.
no, I didn't have any streamers, man. But this bike was so cool. Do you remember this? This is back in the 80s. It was called Street Hawk. And it was the equivalent to Knight Rider, but it was with a motorcycle.
That sounds like ghetto ass Knight Rider. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm getting mad.
I see you
I'm
are.
getting mad right
Yeah.
now. It was basically this guy who was a vigilante for justice, and they designed this. It was just like the premise of Knight Rider.
Yeah.
And
Like a ripoff, pretty much.
He was fighting crime, and nobody else could do it in this particular way. So
Isn't
guess
that
what?
always the way?
Yeah, we had to give you a bike that can do all. So it had like a turbo boost and all this stuff. So and had machine guns on it and all this. And And the sound at the beginning, the theme was awesome. But I remember when I got my bike, I was like, I'm like one step away from Street Hawk.
That's the thing with the 80s, right? You had Knight Rider. Like various forms of transportation were badass. Like Knight Rider, Night Hawk, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Night and
Airwolf.
Airwolf, dude.
I mean,
Dukes of Hazzard.
I think the only one we're missing is like the boat. There wasn't like a badass
Miami
boat.
Vice, dude.
Ooh, that's a little boating.
They always had boats.
What about the Love Boat?
Yeah,
Love Boat.
Yeah, that was kind of bad. Yeah. But that was like a niche in the 80s. Yeah, that was 80s. Like that was a niche. Was like badass transportation, vigilante justice.
Come aboard. We're expecting you. The Love Boat. Something exciting and new.
Right.
And I remember the words to the song still.
But Airwolf, I was a big fan of that.
And I like the theme song to Airwolf. And you just hear the helicopter.
Damn.
Yeah, it would just come up and fly, and you'd be like, wow, it hurt my brain, man. I just remember being stuck to the TV, like, wow, this is good.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people rushing around getting ready for the holidays, and I just thought, man, if you could just slow down a moment and appreciate. I was walking into my little gym today. The people that greet me, they're always super nice, and I'll talk to them a little bit. I shared a conversation with one of them about getting ready for the holidays, and she was stressed, and she was telling me about all the difficulties. And I was like, do you ever just stop and experience a moment? And we were laughing, and I shared the story that I heard about from my relative who does the broadcasting, and said, hey, you did good enough. Your kids, everything's going to be fine. It was cool. I said, just, having a conversation with somebody, that's a moment right there. All those little moments you forget about because you're always getting busy, ready for the next thing, and you're looking to the next thing, and you're forgetting right now I'm in this, and it's hard to always be aware.
Well, I'm going to have my old man moment here for a second, but I think we're more into that now than we've ever been in the past, just because everybody is on their phones. Everybody's doing social media. I mean, watch your Christmas gathering, especially like the younger family members.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to be on their phones, dude. And you're not in the moment. You're busy posting about the moment, but you're not enjoying the moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You're not experiencing stuff.
You'll watch it again later probably, but it's not going to be the same.
Dude, I guarantee you anybody under the age of 30, and maybe that's being generous, will be on their phones at least half the time probably at a family gathering.
Yeah.
It's kind of, Anyways, that's my old man soapbox.
Yeah, it's interesting to think about missing, because time is what you have. You're not making the best of it if you're trying to memorialize things, because you're not able to experience them if you're doing that. It's harder to experience it if you're busy looking at it through a screen.
Or you're only experiencing things in a way of how's this going to look on social media.
Yeah.
Like that's your thought about something is, oh, I'm going to I'm going to the basketball game or I'm going to the football game. Oh, that's going to be so cool when I can post it and show everybody. It's like, really? I just
I don't even care about that. But like a family get together, you're supposed to be there and be interacting with people you don't see all year or every so often. And when you're like looking at outside stuff, then that kind of takes away from it. So you should be there and give them. You're going to be there a few hours. Just give them that time.
I think a good thing to start. Let's let this catch fire here. Maybe. I think people around Christmas or something, they should put like a bowl or something in the front of their house. Everybody dumps their cell phones in that bowl
before
they sit down and come. Everybody, no cell phones. We're gonna enjoy hours together. No cell phones.
Now, could you get your own bowl in case you don't want your phone touching other people's phones? Because maybe
you can put it in a Ziploc baggie and then put it in the bowl.
Yeah, they do that at concerts. There's some places where you can't.
Yeah,
they won't let you bring your phone.
Right, or your phones even. I think some artists are like no phones. Because they don't want. Because if you're an artist, it's like, dude, you came here to enjoy my show, not to post on Instagram. Like there's plenty of artists that are like, I don't like it when people.
I like that idea, man.
But yeah, for like the holidays, I think that's we kind of need to get back to that.
Yeah, don't surprise them at the door and say, I need your phone.
Yeah, I'm confiscating your phone.
Yeah, let them know. Give them a heads up. Say, hey, we're gonna need to confiscate your phone when you come into the party. If that doesn't work for you,
you'll get a receipt. Don't worry.
Yeah, we can give you a little number, maybe a little thing. Yeah, so they can keep it.
But I just think that stuff like that. It's
or
like
just leave it by the front door. If you want to use your phone, you gotta leave. You gotta go outside
or something. I mean, but I think we're just so.
Or you just say nobody pull your phones out.
Dude, Christmas is one day a year. One day a year, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
no.
come on.
No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you go to a family get together, just keep it together put the phone down for a couple hours, man.
Right. Because I honestly think people are enjoying it in the moment, but they don't realize the long-term damage that kind of behavior does eventually over time, right? You're enjoying being on your phone and posting on Facebook and like that little dopamine hit that people get, right? Immediately.
Well, it becomes a habit.
It becomes a habit, but then the long-term negative effect of that mentality is pretty damaging.
Yeah. I really do start to notice that people do seem to be a little bit more gracious, a little bit more willing to look the other way when something annoying happens in a busy or congested place or a store. This time of year is kind of cool for that. It's also hard to be nasty. We talk about Costco almost every other show, but it's one of my favorite places in the world. And you go in there and you have tons of Christmas stuff up. It's hard to be nasty when you have a giant tree right there and a
Frosty the Snowman staring at you.
Yeah, a nutcracker or something, and people are making room for each other and stuff. And it's cool to see little things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, man, if we could just, I mean, obviously it's cliche, but just be like that all year, Would it be, it's easier. It's harder to, when you're nasty to folks in the store or whatever, or you're annoyed and you're getting yourself more upset.
Well, I think we've maybe have talked about this a little bit before, but I always just think people are nasty because they're unhappy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
And during Christmas, people are generally happy. Although there are, like I said before, those people that it's really tough. They're even more unhappy come Christmas time than they are normally. But for the most part, people are generally happy. And that's why you go out and, everybody's so gracious and this and that. But then Christmas is over and it's like you deal with everything else, and so people are not pleasant to other people because they're dealing with unhappiness in their own lives.
Yeah, it's too bad. That's occurred to me too. I think we could get into now the next segment of our show, which has habitually become What Would You Do? And this is where we give each other scenarios and try to see how the other hoe would handle it. Since we're missing Red today, we'll just do it like we did last time. We'll all go around, maybe clockwise. But I've got one. So you guys want to get started on that?
Sure. It's ironic we're missing Red at Christmas time.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Feels wrong.
The irony.
Yeah. Well, let's have a moment of silence for Red. He's okay, I think.
I'm going to go kidnap him for the next show.
He's coming on. He's going to be here for the next show.
He's a big guy. It might take all three of us.
Let's go kick his door down.
We could do it.
Just go for his ankles.
Yeah,
I'll trank him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. So we have. I guess we don't really need to pick a name then, right?
We'll just do it clock. Like I can go first, and I'll do 11, and then kind of that way, right?
Yeah, I like it. And mine's. Gosh, I hate to put any pressure on you guys, but mine happens to be holiday themed. So
is mine.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Wow. This
right,
is
no pressure if it isn't.
This is like the
one-upper, dude.
Yeah, this is like the bell ringer thing. He's just like, look at me, right? Look at me.
January 1st.
Like no pressure, but mine's better than yours.
Very humble.
What's it going to be like after January? I can't wait to see what the new Pierce is going to be like, man. It's going to be glorious.
I think you might
probably better than you.
I think you might join like a monastery in the mountains somewhere.
I can't help it, dude. Sorry.
So, what would you do come Christmas time? And we talk about these people that are kind of on the periphery, right?
This is for 11 first.
This is for 11, yeah. Like people that are there, but they're kind of on the periphery, right? They're not like mom, dad, brother, sister. They're like in-law, some version, or like a friend, cousin, or like a second cousin or something. And so you show up there and they get you a gift and you don't get them a gift.
Oh, dude. I was going to talk about this earlier. This has happened.
So what would you do in that situation where you got this nice ass gift that this person got you and you got them Jack? How do you handle that?
That's tough. This is a situational thing, I think.
Yeah.
'Cause it depends on your relationship to them, what type of person they are.
Say they're a good person, but you just don't think that there's that close of a relationship to justify a gift.
Yeah. What do you do? Jeez. I mean, for me personally, I would just say, I'm sorry I didn't get you anything. I mean, thank you. I didn't get you anything. I only got stuff for my kids. You know, I didn't know what everyone else was getting and stuff. Here's a 20.
That's what I would do. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
I mean, but the humiliation of that is you feel
it's
like
embarrassing.
a total...
It's embarrassing. I mean, it should, people should be talking if they're going to be doing stuff like that, you know.
Right.
Like I said, my upbringing, there's so many people around. Like, if you're going to bring presents for the other kids and stuff, you should at least say something. So other people are...
Like, if there's 30...
It's kind of like a common sense, like... You're not going to buy all these presents for everyone. Like,
well, in your situation, if there's 32 kids and somebody buys presents for 31 kids,
yeah, exactly.
There's like one kid that they're like, Timmy doesn't get any presents.
It's happened.
Screw him.
It's happened. Like, there'd be family out from Scotland or something. There'd be extra kids, and they'd be like, "Oh my god, I didn't get anything for them." So everyone would start throwing money together and like, "Here you go.
Yeah,
here's
like charitable fund for them."
You know what I mean? Like, they end up making out more than anybody else, but
yeah. I mean, that's just
in my family, nobody felt bad with stuff like that just because there's so much going on. So I don't know if I
see. We have a smaller family, and I've had those situations before too. And it's like you just
that
feel,
one would wig me out.
Right?
I don't know. I've never been in that.
I've had that, and I'm just like, oh man, I feel like such a piece of crap. And it's like, do you own up to it and just be like, you know what, I suck and I didn't get you a gift, or do you say, you know what? I got you something, but it got here late.
No,
you don't.
I don't lie like that.
You don't lie like that.
I'm straight up truthful, dude. Yeah. I will eat crow. I don't care.
Okay.
But the next year, I would buy something ridiculous for them, and then they probably wouldn't get anything for me because of the year before. And then
now they would feel bad.
Yeah, now it'd be like my present's 10 times better.
It's just going to be a cycle of awkwardness.
It's going to be a vicious,
never-ending cycle.
It totally one-up them, and you'd hold on to that for the entire year.
Right. Yeah.
Well, now it can be your ongoing rotation, and you'll just purposely do it every year. They get you something, then next year you get them something.
Or they just re-gift it.
Ooh. You know what?
Re-gifting is so brutal, man. I can't do it. I've thought about doing it before, dude. I cannot.
It feels evil.
Yeah.
Have you done it? Have you re-gifted?
Tell
the truth.
I don't think so. I don't think I have.
Come on.
I don't think I have.
I think I have for white elephant gifting. I've given something that I got that I was like, I had to go to a party, got something. I thought, I can give this to our family. We're having another white elephant.
Oh, is that like a... Okay.
Well, that's not like the swap
I don't know. That's
thing.
different.
Is it like that?
That's not like a personal gift, though.
That's true.
That's a little different.
That's true.
But you're not talking about like the things where like you open a gift and then you can swap it with somebody else, right? That opens a gift later.
No,
you ever do that?
Yeah, I've done that before.
I'm never completely clear. I understand the rules are kind of rudimentary. I mean, the basic idea is savagery. It's like Thunderdome. People are going to go in there, get a gift, and somebody is eventually going to take your gift, and it feels so awful.
It's basically Hunger Games.
It's
horrible, dude. Yeah. Some people's feelings will get hurt.
That's an evil gift exchange.
I don't really like it,
I'm surprised you haven't created your own.
There's bloodshed usually. There's a little bloodshed.
I think I've been a part of some of them, and nobody ever walks away completely feeling good. Even if you get what you want, you still kind of feel
because
gross.
You stole it from somebody else.
Yeah, you probably stole it. It wasn't the gift you started with. Every time I do white elephant, I always keep the gift that I got. I never take anything.
Even if it's deodorant.
Even if it's the worst. Yeah. Wow, I've never received deodorant, but if I had, I would kill myself. No, I would take a hard look.
I mean, my mom used to always put toiletry stuff in the stocking.
Oh, yeah. That's why I'm like, that's different for stockings.
If it was a stocking thing, then maybe
that's
they were just
for
like
stockings.
throwing whatever in there.
Yeah.
So maybe it wasn't like a total...
It was a long time ago. Maybe it was a stocking, but the way I've remembered it now in my mind is that it was like an individually wrapped gift with like a bow on it.
This is your main present. Wink.
Dude, after we finish here, I want to find these people's names. We need to find them.
Yeah, we need to call them and ask them.
I want to know what happened. Yeah,
call them right now. We need to put them on the mic.
On the air.
Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
Yeah. For the next show.
What if we asked? What if we called them?
And they're like,
we got it for you because you stunk, dude.
Maybe they'd be willing to tell you now. Maybe they couldn't tell you then, but now they can tell you.
Maybe the statute of limitations is expired.
The floodgates will open.
I think they would just let it go now.
They may have all kinds of stuff they can finally feel comfortable enough to tell
let
you.
it loose. Yeah. Let it loose.
You need to just give me their information. I'll do it.
Yeah,
I'll be like, do you remember a Christmas?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you bought your daughter's boyfriend.
And it won't be as awkward because 11 will do it.
Yeah.
You know, it'll
exactly.
make it easier.
It's some
I heard
random
this story
stranger.
once and it's been bugging me and I need to know the truth.
And they'll be more honest with him because it lessens.
And they're going to be like,
for
yeah,
them.
dude, he was bad.
Oh, no, dude.
brutal.
Come
They're
on.
not going to say that.
No.
I've never smelled beige. I never
Thank
found
you.
him to be smelly. So I
Yeah.
just want to feel like I need to say
I
that.
appreciate that.
Yeah, dude, because I don't want people to get the wrong idea. How dare these
Hints
people?
of lavender usually is
Yeah.
what I.
How dare them?
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Jasmine.
Maybe that moment in your life changed you to smell good. Maybe
you
you
go.
did stink before that.
Maybe.
Maybe you just didn't
Maybe I
realize
was like that Peanuts character that had the stink cloud that followed
yeah.
him everywhere.
You know, the worst thing is being next to somebody who you know doesn't know that they smell.
Oh, yeah.
And you just,
Oh,
you don't just feel bad for yourself because you're having to smell them, but you feel bad that they're going
They're
through
unaware.
life that they are not aware of.
I mean, we've all been in that situation where, like, maybe you put some socks on that probably should have been washed before, and you're like, dude, I can smell my socks.
Now we know he was the smelly guy.
I can
Just kidding.
I can
No, I'm
handle
just kidding.
stuff like that.
I know
never
Pierce
done
hasn't had that
What,
No, I've
experience.
never
what I
done
can't handle is like that morning stink that people have and they haven't taken a shower. Like they
wow.
sleep and they just smell like that greasy.
I don't like that.
You know what I'm talking about?
I don't like that.
You could like smell it coming off their head. I'm just like, oh,
Sometimes
God.
hair-
Take a shower, bro.
like when Pierce wakes up in the middle of the night in the cold sweat from his Star Wars
Darth
dreams.
Vader
And-
dream.
and the caked on coconut oil.
Yeah.
You're just sweating
Yeah,
under
that
it.
combo is not good.
That's because of what I said about deodorant. Now you're trying to.
yeah, now I'm
Now
claws
your
out, knives out,
retribution. You
knives
have the
out.
vindictive emotions
Yep.
boiling up. Well, I just think that, full disclosure again, beige doesn't smell. But you do kind of just think, how do people go through life being so unaware? But I remember for a very short time in my childhood, I lived on a ranch. I remember after a while, I didn't smell the cows and the horses anymore. They didn't smell as bad to me.
Oh yeah.
And maybe they just get used to it, you know?
Right.
And I wonder if there must be a scientific name for that. I wonder what that is. I wish we had more.
Feel free to chime in on the comments.
Yeah, I wonder.
All right, 11, I think you're up.
Pierce, you go.
Okay, so
This is for me. This is for me.
for
Okay,
you.
this will be for beige. Okay, so every year in December, you have a neighbor that comes over and gives you a nice gift. A lot of times, it's something to eat. It's in a festive-looking tin container, and there's various different types of cookies with icing of all sorts. And they say "Happy Holidays," and you're like, "Thank you." And then you close the door, and this happens a couple more times, and it's like, well, should I get something this year for her? Because I keep getting these cookies, but she's put you in a position where and I'm sure she didn't intend this, but it's now awkward because I haven't gotten her anything, and I keep getting these tin cookies, and then what do you do? You know?
Okay, I got a few questions.
Okay.
Here. Are you and this neighbor on good terms? Are you worried about
Yeah.
poisoning?
No, we're on good terms, but you know me. Would I eat the cookies?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
So these cookies
Yeah.
just
In the words of Fonzie, correctamundo.
okay. Do these cookies go to the entire neighborhood?
I think I've seen her handing them out to other people, but
So it's not like specific. Hey, I like Pierce. We're
I would
buddies.
assume not. I just assumed
It's
she was
just
giving them to the other neighbors,
to the other
right next to
neighbors.
her. It's a good deal of work because there's a lot of cookies in this little fancy tin box.
Do you have any knowledge of any other neighbors reciprocating the gift giving besides?
I
or
don't know.
would you
I
strike
don't
up a
know
conversation with a neighbor?
I could because I know a couple
Yes.
really well, but I would feel awkward. I'd be like, hey,
I wouldn't.
hey, Cindy,
Do you
Joni over there, she gave some, did she give you cookies? And if so, did you give her anything back? Because I'm an awkward
I mean, I
scenario.
would probably have that conversation.
Really?
I would. I would say, hey, Joni,
What does Cindy think?
Joni, I love her to death. She's awesome. She's one of the best neighbors.
Yeah.
She always gets me these cookies every year, and I really appreciate it. But, I feel bad. I've never given her anything. Do you ever give her gifts? I just
See
want
what she
to, and
says.
just see what your other neighbor says.
Interesting.
Because if she gives cookies to like 5 neighbors and 4 neighbors get her gifts back and you are the one neighbor that doesn't, now you look pretty bad.
Now, what if Cindy tells you, well, yeah, I get them too. I don't give her anything either. And now maybe you're making her feel awkward, and now you've also put the same thing on her because now she's going to have to give her a gift too.
But there you come back to you're self-aware.
You're at least more aware now.
You're more aware now, right? Like
Yeah.
you're now dealing with a person that is not self-aware until you bring it to their attention.
Right.
Is that your fault? You see what I'm saying? Like, you're self-aware
Do
of
you
the
shoot
situation.
The messenger? Yeah, don't shoot the messenger.
You're teaching them how to be a more what's circumcised?
Circumspect.
Oh, circumspect.
Circumcised is what happened to you this year.
Circumspect person.
Yeah. A more circumcised person.
Yeah.
Hey, Cindy, I helped you be more circumcised. You're welcome. Hashtag Merry Christmas.
No
Hashtag
more skin envelope.
You're welcome.
Yeah, there you go. No more snuffleupagus.
The old wizard sleeve.
If there's one thing that you've learned here is at least what circumcised and circumspect mean, I hope, from this episode.
From this episode. If nothing else.
At least
if
beige,
nothing else.
Yeah.
But that's how I would handle it. And then if you realize that you're the outlier, time to
pony up.
change up. This year, if there's time. If not this year, then definitely next year. Or pick a random holiday, Valentine's Day. Bring her some roses and a box of chocolates. She might get the wrong idea.
Yeah, she can get the wrong idea.
Yeah.
What color roses would you be safe giving so that you could work that out and make it not
you wouldn't
romantic?
Well, not red, right?
Not red.
And then
yellow.
Black is for
What
like
does yellow mean?
funerals,
What does
right?
yellow mean?
Apparently,
Friendship, right?
it's friendship. I didn't know this until I got my ex yellow flowers, and she hated them.
Oh wow, that's
a whole bunch of
rose.
roses, and I thought they were like beautiful, and I was like, okay. I threw my trash.
So there you go. Yellow roses and a box of chocolates come Valentine's Day. That's the next holiday of gift giving,
Or
right?
you could give her yellow roses and a box of chocolates on like Halloween, so it's not romantic.
Or you could give her a big ass thing of fireworks for New Year's.
You should embrace the evil for the rest of this year, and you make cookies even better and give her twice as many as she gave you.
One-upper.
Oh,
Yeah, classic one-upper maneuver.
That's what I would do.
I like the one-up maneuver. That's a good one. Do you want to hear what happened in Pierce in real life?
Yeah, let's hear the choose your own adventure real life
The
outcome.
unfortunate pitfalls of being Pierce and being clueless. I didn't give her anything, and then one year, 10 boxes stopped coming, and no more.
No more
Christmas
10.
And everyone else is getting them?
I don't know, but you know what? I always threw them out anyway, which I felt awful doing. And but
maybe they
I
checked
also
the
don't
trash,
eat stuff like that. I don't eat that stuff.
Pierce was looking out his window and saw his neighbor with like 5-10 boxes, and she just kept on going past his house.
Can you imagine?
Scoffed at his...
Scoffed.
Can you imagine if she saw me emptying my trash and on the top
a cookie
she
fell
saw
out?
the tin?
Like one cookie falls out onto the ground, dude?
Or the tin can falls out and she
the
hears
tin
it?
can
Yeah.
that they all came
And you're
in.
both just looking at each other and then looking down.
And then I'd be like, no, that's the tin box that the other person, somebody else gave me when I ate yours. In fact, I have your tin box in my Star Wars room. I keep it as a souvenir of your kindness.
Were they homemade?
No, I don't think so.
Oof.
But they weren't wrapped.
I mean, at least they weren't homemade. You know, then
I
that's
don't know
an
for sure.
additional thing of
That
like...
would be harder, dude.
Yeah.
Oh
because,
my gosh, I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Yeah, I'm just here to make you feel really bad. That's what I'm
You
here
are
for.
during this episode, man. Yeah, I've got a lot of bad emotions brewing up. Emotions are something that I really feel like I think that I can evolve and become a stronger Pierce if I just avoid all emotion. The less emotion I feel, the stronger and more impervious I will be.
Yeah, be a cyborg. That's your New Year's
I need to be
resolution.
less of a boy and more of a cyborg. Yeah.
That's good.
I like it. And I know it sounds
more anger.
ridiculous, but I really feel this might be the answer.
That'll make for a very entertaining podcast
More
for the
coconut,
next year, I'm sure.
More cyborgness. Ironically, I still need coconut and peas, but I want to just embody the inner workings of the cyborg in my emotions, but my body will still require the nutrients and the
eagle.
But see,
Yes.
there's two ways to look at the food giving, right?
Okay.
So the way I interpret that is that she's giving you sweets, right?
Okay.
So
for a sweet,
for
because she thinks I'm a sweet.
no,
Oh.
because she's like, okay, this guy's fit. You know,
Let's fatten him up.
let's fatten him up a little bit. You know, he could stand. He
Now I'm
could
pissed.
basically.
And I'm getting kind
No,
of pissed.
no,
at this
like
lady.
he could stand
that's
to.
the wrong way from the
getting angry.
He could
Yeah.
stand to tolerate, a little bad food. you know? Now, if you were like a really out of shape guy and she got you like healthy snacks,
and then she handed
celery sticks.
Yeah, celery
then
sticks.
I might be offended.
You know what would be worse? You know what would be even worse?
Here's some carrots.
Here's some steamed broccoli.
The only way it could be
Unsalted.
Yeah, the only way it could be worse is if she gave me some celery sticks, some broccoli, and on top was a little thing of deodorant wrapped inside the container.
Why
I'd be like, how dare you?
You should have left a note on her door and said, "While I appreciate the cookies,
Yeah,
I would prefer maybe some beef sticks next time, or
Yeah.
some chia seeds. You know,
well, chia seeds has oxalate in it. You know what I would try?
well, I don't
to
know,
do?
whatever pear seeds, peas,
Yeah.
I guess, and coconuts, right?
Yeah, peas,
Yeah.
coconuts, garbanzo beans are okay. AKA
Macadamia nuts, you know.
chickpeas. Yeah, you know, I guess she doesn't know my dietary restrictions. Shame on her. Kind of a selfish gift giver, I guess. She didn't do her homework. See, I try to do my understand the people I give gifts to. I want to know, well, what do they like? What are their issues? This guy has blood pressure. I know he shouldn't be eating. You know, actually, I saw a guy in my office and he got some snacks, and I said, dude, look, I don't think you should be eating those. I wish you well, Merry Christmas, but you might die if you eat too many of these because you already have an issue. And I tried to say it in a nicer way, but see, what I do is I would think about those things before I give a gift, and I don't give things that I think might kill people. You know, that's not a good gift.
So he's eating like a 12-count mozzarella sticks, but he thinks that that's healthy until you point out to him.
I mean, deep
you
down
might
in
not
his
want to
heart,
eat mozzarella
well,
sticks.
there were
right?
cookies with all
love
kinds of different
mozzarella
icings
sticks.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But the problem is that deep in his heart, he knew that they're not good for him.
Well, deep in his heart is
I'm
clogged.
like the Jiminy Cricket. Yeah, exactly. Good point. You know, I'm like, dude, Beige. I love Beige. He tells the funny, and then he looks around.
And then I look at 11,
He
and
wants to
11 confirms it. He's like, yes,
he confirms it was funny.
That was a hit.
It's a dopamine hit. The endorphins are going pretty good for Pierce or for Beige right now. But yeah, I think about those things, and when I give somebody a gift, I think, okay, that's why I don't give that. When she gave me those cookies and you were describing how, you know, maybe she thought it was okay because I'm fit, it kind of angered me, because then I thought, well, how dare her try to poison my body with these toxins? And now she's my enemy. Yeah, now we're enemies, dude, because of what you just told me. She's my enemy.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
and
that's
luckily she lives right next door, because you know what they say, keep your enemies even closer.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. How about that one? And that's a really
I don't know if that's how
lovely
it goes,
way to
but
end the holiday.
it's the
It's
gist.
something like that.
It's the
Like,
gist.
yeah, when somebody gives you cookies,
Keep your friends
them
close.
close because
Yeah.
they're evil
Closer.
and they're an
Right.
enemy.
Yeah, they
And
want
you
to
keep-
poison your
Godfather.
body.
Yeah. But now we know what's up.
Wow.
You know,
And if you just gave people gift cards, that would have avoided
you
that
would
whole
avoid- yeah.
situation.
Just give them cash. Yeah, here's your bag of cash.
You can buy cookies with it, or you can buy macadamia nuts,
Yeah,
whatever you
or
want.
peas.
You know?
This is a fun story, or this is a fun. What would you do?
We'll be the judge of that.
Okay.
JK. Sorry. Go ahead, buddy.
So this happened during the holiday season, but in Iraq.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big Christmas
Do
celebration.
they have Christmas in Iraq?
Yeah, the Christians do.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, God bless them.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't
It's
know
a
what's
Christian.
happening.
It's a Christian holiday. Yeah.
All right.
So you're trying to win the hearts and minds of everyone, right? You're not running around kicking in doors.
Yeah.
You're
This is after they've been freed?
yes.
Okay.
And even in our sectors, you just kind of like every street kind of like has their own little mayor, you know, their own spokesperson, and you want to get on good terms with everyone because you're all going to be in the same area for the next year, you know, and if any shit pops off, you kind of want people on your side. So that's what we're doing. So you go up to this one house and you can smell like bread. Like they make a lot of good bread over there. And they come out and they're giving you like this, just came out of the oven. Here's some bread, you know, and you're talking to a guy and you're sitting there eating the bread and all that. He's like, oh, let me show you, you know. You go into this house and you walk in and it looks great. The house is nice. You go down this hallway. You get to this back room and the entire floor is covered in dough because they're just baking a shit ton of bread.
Damn, and you just ate it.
Not only is it on the floor, you have this like 80-year-old woman walking on it, kneading it with her feet.
Yummy.
Walking around the whole room, just like kneading all the dough with her feet. You have a mouthful of bread right now and like half of this thing left, and you're just like staring what do you do at that point? Because you got their spokesperson guy standing there, and there's like other people around too.
Yeah. And if you spit it out right in front of them,
you're trying to win hearts and minds. Hearts
that'd
and
be
minds.
very insulting.
Yeah.
What if you're not making eye contact and you spit it out? That would be.
They can still see it.
Bad. Now, what if you? Yeah,
like the eye contact.
The eye contact makes
inconsequential.
It worse. Yeah. I guess that doesn't really help.
Hang on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna break eye contact with you real quick.
Yeah, I just turned into a ghost. I'm invisible now.
What if you did one of these where you just kind of wipe your hand down your face and then?
Oh, they're gonna see it.
Okay. Is this one
just
for me?
About it.
I guess.
Yeah, it's for you. They're all standing there staring at you because you're, the American guy.
There's a few times in your life where you feel like, I'm going to represent my country, and I'm going to do what I think George Washington would do.
You are a representative of your country to these people.
Yeah.
You are the United States to them.
And I'm going to take one for the team. I'm going to eat the dough that lovely, well-intentioned,
and cry yourself to sleep later.
Athletic foot, probably fungus, whatever it is. I'm just going to take it for the team because I've got to bridge the gap. I've got to make sure our countries understand that we love each other. We're going to be there for you no matter what. I'm even going to eat your crappy dough that your grandmother's been stepping on, that the little kid, when you talk in a room, guess what? All of your vapors just fall onto the ground and they're going onto the dough. So there's all kinds of things going through my brain right there. I'd probably try to finish up my conversation quickly, take one for the team, put a big smile on, chew it, swallow it, and then I would go eat some coconut oil.
Do you have like a fat piece of bread in your hands and you just took a bite, but you still have bread left over?
I've already taken 3 or 4 bites and I still have a big old piece in my hand.
Did you have to before this? I mean,
I was sitting there eating it, just like, wow, man, this is great.
And it was good, right?
Yeah.
But it was offered to you. You have to eat it, right?
Yeah, but it was before I saw that was going on.
But even,
it's disrespectful.
I would have imagined that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I would have already imagined that there was something. Because believe me, the kitchen that makes the dough that I eat, I can't imagine if it's good enough. And that's why a lot of times I'm very careful about where I go to eat. Sorry. But anyway.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I just laughed. I laughed like really loud. Yeah. And then I just kept eating. I'm just like, whatever.
You're like George Washington.
If I get sick, I get sick. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, really? And the guy was like, yeah, this is how they do because we do so much. And I was like, cheers, man.
Well, at least it gets heated up.
I would have full faith, in the process, of the oven killing any bacteria or fungal.
It's just what they do. It's what they've always done. They've been doing it forever, and they have these huge ovens,
and they're okay. But remember, anytime you go to another country, you find out that their metabolism and that they're a lot more impervious to the things than we are.
Well, that's any region of the world that you go to. You're gonna.
Oh, boy.
Everyone's got different germs.
You are basically, I can't even look at you right now. You're like George Washington because you took one for the team, man.
Yeah.
You did the right thing for the red, white, and blue.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your service in so many ways.
And for eating that bread. I mean,
You ate the dough.
It was good.
You helped feed.
I just wish I never saw that. It's ingrained in my head. It's like I can picture it like it was yesterday.
Yeah. Like Pierce has.
It was just such a shocker, dude. Imagine somebody handing you this warm bread and it's so good. And you just walk, and then you just turn a corner and you see this. I was like, this is like something out of a weird movie right now.
Yeah.
Like, this cannot be real.
Like kneading bread, like kind of like a
with
monkey.
With their toes,
like how
dude.
A monkey would
just walking around, squishing it, kneading it. And they had big bags of flour and stuff. I'm like, what?
Like finger toes.
I laughed so loud. I was like screaming, laughing. And I was like, and I looked at him, I was like, this is what you do? And he was like, yeah, because there's so much, he's like,
but like, why can't you
want to make
her...
him feel like an idiot? And I was like, it's fucking great, man. I just kept going.
But why can't she use her hands?
There's too much of it, I guess.
Just too much. You got to use all
Maybe at that
4.
age, she had carpal tunnel, dude, from all the bread eating.
Man.
You might have digested a small piece of foot skin or something,
A callus. You could have eaten a callus.
Is that a wart?
Maybe a bunion. A bunion was rubbing. Basically, you licked the bunion. You basically.
There's a piece of skin here with a hair in it.
Yeah.
That's not a poppy seed.
Is it a curly hair? Oh my goodness!
It's not a sesame seed.
Why did we have to do this on the holiday episode of all episodes?
You guys need to give her a break. Her feet are falling apart. She's like, I'm eating pieces.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Gosh.
Brutal.
wow.
That's where the gift really.
But everybody was kind of looking at me with a half smile on their
They're like,
face.
yeah,
a little
this guy's
smirk.
gonna eat
They're
it.
like,
This
he's gonna
guy's gonna eat
see.
it.
He's gonna see it and he's gonna wig out.
Yeah.
But I just. But
Was
I
it
didn't.
sourdough? Oh, yeah.
Oh man!
Wow.
They made good bread though. It was
Yeah, I mean,
I've got
That's the best toe bread I ever ate.
I've got so many weird stories about being over there like that. You know, they're not like.
Yeah.
Like everyone's got the combat stories and stuff, but all those ones make it interesting.
Well, and
to me.
anytime you're in somebody's house, like it's rude to turn down beverages,
especially
or food,
in other country cultures.
especially if you're trying to ingratiate yourself to somebody.
And then they always offer you like coffee or tea, and it's like that Turkish coffee in the little tiny cups.
Yeah.
And I'm 20. This is my first time I was over there. I was 21. They said, "Do you want coffee?" And I was like, "Sure." It was our interpreter's family's house. We used to go out at night, and we would sneak over there so nobody knew because they didn't want to have his family murdered. Mm-hmm. And we'd sneak down alleys and stuff and go, through the back gate and all that. Mm-hmm. I have pictures of it. I'll have to show you guys sometime. But they came out with the Turkish coffee and all that, and I didn't drink coffee at 21 years old. And I was like, "Oh, cool! It's little. I can just down this." And I downed it, and they all just stared at me. And I was like, "What?" And my buddy's like, "Holy shit, dude!" He's like, "You're about to be spun, bro. This is like concentrated coffee." I was like, "Really?" Man, I was sitting over there sweating. Like it was already hot, but I was like dripping sweat. I'm like, "Oh my god, dude."
Well, and the thing I worry about with that is like,
hard.
Is there water in that?
Yeah,
if there is, like, is that gonna jack?
No,
gut wise,
Dude, you're eating and drinking things that people are handing you.
They're well aware of all that.
Well, I guess with coffee, they're boiling it anyways. It's hot,
and
right?
they're well aware of all that. It's not as third world esque in the cities and all that. They're aware of a lot of everything.
Yeah,
I don't eat too many
normal
things.
families.
Yeah, that people hand me. I just am not. I remember even as a trick or treater, I was like,
"Well, there's a razor in
not going to get me.
Yeah,
not going to get this guy." Even the wrappers. I don't remember eating a lot of candy, to be honest.
Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of a messed up kid. I remember I used to like the act of trick-or-treating.
You were the one kid that actually liked the raisins.
Yeah,
the people that gave the raisins.
You know what I did eat were those candy corns. I'd eat the candy corns.
So you are an animal.
Yeah, I know.
Dude, if Pierce were to have if Pierce were to have a candy corn right now, his body would shut down immediately.
Who knows what would happen? I mean, it could be
It would
crazy.
be such a shock.
I might act crazy if I ate it. Just who knows, ballistic.
I'm bringing candy corn next time.
Yeah, it would be weird. And you know what I used to do is I would take candy corn, put it in some peanut butter, put in some honey, a tiny bit of butter, and I'd mix it all together.
Whoa.
Yeah. And you want to talk about heaven, dude. Ooh.
Next show, I'm bringing candy corn. You're going to eat a bunch of those.
No.
Yeah, right at the beginning of it.
You're as bad as his neighbor. And
I
want to
fight you.
I want to see how wild you get by the end
I
of it.
couldn't, dude. I wouldn't do it. You would have to basically
force feed it.
I would have to be in Iraq, and I would have to be doing it thinking I was serving my country. Yeah, that's the only way I would do it.
You are. This show goes out to your country.
But I can't be convinced of that. Yeah, I can't be convinced of that because I know it's just a farce. And with that, I think this show has come to a close. And we are so happy to have shared this 2023 holiday episode with our whole listeners because they have been there. Dude, the one or two people have been there to listen to us. And we have a video that we're going to put on YouTube.
Thanks, Mom.
And by the way, 11 is editing this a little bit, and we're going to put a video out. So you have something to look forward to. It's like a gift. So you might have showed up to this thinking, oh, I don't have a gift for the hose. Your gift is just being there.
A gift or a gif?
A gift, like with a T.
Oh, with
a T. Don't get confusing.
Mm.
And our gift to them...
I can make a gift, too.
...is going to be that we're going to give them a little video of us doing some really lame and ridiculous thing, and we're going to try to put more of those videos together. We're working on getting the technology and the equipment together. And unfortunately, Beige is tired and thirsty because he brings his drinks in here. They're not in a sippy cup.
Yeah.
He put his cup on the glass arcade table, and I said,
you don't want to ruin the
glass.
No.
I needed an energy drink to get through that hour-long Star Wars story in the beginning.
I apologize. Listeners, I apologize. If you hear the edited version, maybe it's been cut down. Just know that the version you heard may have been whittled away. So, guys, I love you guys. And I thank you for another great season of Heroes of Humility. And
Merry Christmas, gents.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Happy holidays.
There you go. Happy holidays as well.
Happy holidays. So this is Pierce signing off with
Beige
11.
Take care, be cool, be kind. Thanks a lot for spending the year with us here at Heroes of Humility. We'll be back with a new episode after the new year. Feel free to rate us. We don't do a lot of commercials, if any, so your support means a great deal. If you'd like to learn more about us, check us out on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We'll be putting more videos out there. We also have a website. Follow us, subscribe so that you get the latest updates on the new shows. If you have an idea for something that you think is troubling you or our social fabric in humanity, feel free to comment in one of our posts on Facebook or on YouTube in our videos, and we'll take a look at it. And if we feature the idea, we'll mention you on the podcast. We wish you a safe and happy new year. Take care.